Coming into this season, Kevin Keatts knew it was going to be a big one. In fact, he knew he was fighting for his job. But all he's done since the season started is win, and win some big games. Not just on the floor, but also on the recruiting trail. And so for more on that, I'm going to bring in my 24/7 Sports teammates, Eric Bossi and Travis Branham. All right, fellas, what's going on this week?
Hey, what's happening, Adam?
Not much, man. How are you?
I'm great. So, Bossi, I will start with you. Paul McNeil, the latest prospect to commit to Kevin Keatts. It seems like the good news is just building some momentum there for the Pack. What do you like about Mr. McNeil and what he brings to NC State?
I like a lot about Paul McNeil. Most notably, I like that they've landed a floor spacer. You know, Kevin Keatts loves to recruit athletic guards who can get in the lane and make things happen there. So a guy now with some size, he's nearly 6'6", he's strong, that they can kick out and rely on making some deep shots is a huge deal. And I think that what's really key here is we're looking at a lot of talent in the state of North Carolina now. Keatts already capitalized in 2023 with landing, Tremaine Parker in that class. He's about to send Terquavion Smith, a North Carolina kid, to the NBA draft. He's got right now what's getting things started in 2024 with McNeil, a chance to really make a run because it wasn't just McNeil that was on campus. Isaiah Evans, a top 20 player, was on campus. Jaron Stevenson, another local who's a top 10 player, was on campus. Jackson Keith, a 2025 top 50 type guy, was on campus. So there's a lot of talent in the area. 13 kids, I think, in the state of North Carolina high schools who are ranked in our top 150 in the class of 2024. He's building early momentum. He's playing fun basketball. I think there's potential for a run here.
And Kevin Keatts is as charismatic a coach and as good as building relationships as just about anybody in the business. So give him some positive momentum, a couple big wins over some local rivals, and he is sure to maximize that, and that's exactly what we're seeing. Now, it is no easy task to monitor all the top prospects from around the country throughout the high school season, but sometimes players make it a little easier on us. So when a guy like Travis Perry goes for 61 points and breaks the internet, pretty much everybody takes notice. But I think of all the national analysts, no one was quite as excited as our own Travis Branham, who has a little in-state love as a fellow Kentuckian. Is that how you say it, Kentuckian?
That's exactly right. You got it, man.
All right, perfect. So what do we like about what Travis Perry did, and what is his game evolving into now?
Yeah, this is one of the highest floor prospects or players in this 2024 class. What has separated him going back to last summer with that Indiana Elite under 16 team, which is absolutely spectacular. One of the most fun teams to watch during the spring and summer, but it starts with this high IQ and skill set for the game. He impacts the game in a variety of ways. He's a knockdown shooter from three, and I mean knockdown. You leave him open, and he is going to absolutely torch you. And that's exactly what he did in this 61-point game. I talked to him afterwards, and he humbly said, I only hit 8 threes. Like, who says something like that so subtly? But yeah, 8 threes there, but tremendous passer, decision maker, sees the floor, gets other people involved, gets downhill, tremendous out of ball screens. In the state of Kentucky, he can absolutely do whatever he wants on the floor. Won't be the case at the next level. He doesn't have the size, the physical tools that you look for in a Power 5 player, but his skill set, his IQ translate, and it's going to, and as we are seeing, it is valued at the high major level.
All right, Trav, so I've got 2 follow-up questions. One, when I saw him on the Adidas Gauntlet last year, what really impressed me was how well he took care of the basketball. I mean, he looked like a real point guard to me, and that's, I don't say that lightly this day and age. So my question is, when you go for 61 points, number one, is he a true point guard? Number two, you mentioned Power 5. What is his recruitment like right now?
I think it's one of these things where we get to see what these players are really like in multiple settings. You see what they're like in the AAU setting, going against more talented teams in some circumstances, and that happens to be the circumstance in the state of Kentucky. When you're playing high school basketball, here you're not going against some national level competition. You are going against good high school basketball players. These kids around this area, they really know how to play the game, but there's not the athletes that you see on the NIBC or in his circumstance on the 3SSB circuit in the summers. So when you watch him in the summers, you get to see his point guard skill set come out. But when you get to watch him with this high school team, you really get to see him take over basketball games and really impact the game as a scorer. So while 61 points may point to him being more of a high volume scorer, and that has been some feedback around this area this season, I still fully project him being a point guard just again, and we will be seeing that here in the next couple months. But on the recruiting front, this thing is wide open. He is going to be trimming his list down here soon. John Calipari was in attendance for the 61-point game. They have an offer out to Travis Perry, but there's other schools heavily involved. Indiana, he said, is heavily prioritizing him right now. He said without question, they are recruiting him the hardest at this moment. But other schools that are also on him hard is Cincinnati, Virginia, who he was contemplating and potentially will be taking a visit to. Juwan Howard at Michigan has been on him hard, as well as Purdue and Ole Miss. So this thing, there's a lot of schools involved in something that we will see some movement here in the next month or two when he decides to trim this list down.
And as you said, on that 3 SSB team, I think he's going to have even more eyeballs on him this spring. So certainly a prospect to keep an eye on.